Rusting frost cracks and unsettles as bluish-white lizard men erupt from nearby snow, riding large blue frost lizards. They approach quickly and question the party's intention.
"What are you doing here? I am Shizo the Slick. I have nothing much going on. I will take you to Redscale Temple."
Many carts line the side of the road here. Yuan-ti, snake men, sit nearby idle. They are conversing, playing cards, drinking, and other symptoms of boredom. They've set up camp here, surrounded by their carts. A scattering of weapon racks nearby holding spears and longswords, but none are ready for battle. A mass of frost lizards are stapled with the camp, each with a saddle built for a Yuan-ti's unique anatomy. A careful observer might notice a small group of them smoking a ground-up powder in secret. A single blue ziggurat sits on a flat tundra surrounded on all sides by huge piles of loose stone. If there were ever any trees here, they have long since been lumbered. Lizard men emerge from the front gate in a procession of 2x2s, carrying large baskets of chipped rocks which they dump onto a pile before returning through the gates. Off to the side of the structure are a large group of lizard men in 4x4 groups. They throw a punch, then another, then a kick, then a spinning kick. Then they are reset into their original stance. A bulky lizard man paces slowly around them, gently correcting their form in place to place. Just beyond the entrance threshold, there are paths leading in several directions through the first floor. Most of the lizardmen workers take sharp left turns once inside, leading them down a slope and around a corner. The distance implying that the structure's size below the surface may be much larger. Along the right is a slope leading to the next level up. Along the wall are intricate paintings of esoteric and mythical histories. Magical moats embedded in sconces illuminate the long corridor. A thick red tongue of a rug winds around the pathway, guiding upward. Yuan-ti purebloods and lizard men alike toil along a great corridor. Looking straight down the main path of the first floor, you can watch them tirelessly sorting through stones. Now and then one is sorted out from the chaff and quickly handed to a Yuan-ti abomination for inspection. While some of these stones are seemingly accepted and transported to another chamber, you do happen to catch what occurs when a false positive is found. An abomination smashes the stone across the wall and begins screaming. The cracking of a whip sends blood splashing to the floor along with the lizard man who submitted the trinket. Others help him to his feet and hurriedly bring him back to his workstation. From there we can go up, or we can go down. You're not allowed to go down. Okay, let's see. Mates rates for boob surgery? That's just... I don't want the mate rate for boob surgery. I want to pay full price. You're not allowed to go down there. Floor 2. This floor is nearly silent compared to the chaos of the first. Carpets lead down long hallways, each set with multiple doors. There's sparse furniture where Yuan-ti can be spotted relaxing and discussing more learned topics. Catching a glimpse in some of the open doors, you can see a small bed and bookshelf copied in each room. Winding around the exterior are the halls which lead to the main floor, and upward. There is less and less foot traffic as the main hall moves up. Floor 3. As the hallways finish winding upward, you are deposited into a large central chamber, connected to 4 hallways running diagonally from the chamber out to glass windows overlooking the exterior of the temple. Along the walls are 4 separate doors, all adorned with extravagant gems and metals within their design. Each of the 4 doors seems unique, each is shut, and each is locked with ornate locks built into the aesthetic design of each door. Hallways along the exterior of this floor coil upward and downward to the floors above and below. Floor 4. The stone hallway ends its crawl upward, landing in a single large room, 50 feet to a side. Incense fills the dimly lit room. Silk hangs from every wall, and the otherwise cool tile floor is covered in rugs and pillows. Everything the Yuan-ti gather here to perform the mass before the great idol. Along the far wall of the chamber is a massive metal statue of a serpent with 5 heads. Each of the heads is shaped different from the last, and each seems to be involved in some action. The first, painted white, glares downward on the room with an icy, detached gaze. The second, blue, is arched upward with its mouth wide open in a scream of pain. As the third head, green, curls around and sinks its teeth into the neck of its neighbor. The fourth head, who is painted black, is set back from the others, staring sideways away from his brethren. The last head is painted green. Its neck lurches around to connect with the floor, and its head rests with eyes shut in mock slumber. So there is where they will meet Chancellor Chisek Two-Tongue. I'll reread this. Chancellor Chisek Two-Tongue is a long, thin serpent in a large bundle of red and blue robes and gowns. His scales are brown and spotted with yellow flecks. His long, thin neck reaches upward and splits into 2, each end terminating in its own head, both adorned with large cobra hoods. The 2 heads seem immediately and constantly at odds with one another, and if one focuses for too long staring in one place, then the other uses the opportunity to snap at its brother's throat. The 2 dance eternally, hissing and snapping at one another. From time to time, one steals a glance away at you. When the Chancellor speaks, it is through one head or the other, and while he does, the other tends to allow the opportunity, before the scrapping continues. Chancellor is trying to recover an artifact for Ratrazaza. He should pry into the allegiance towards the throne. He'll ask to use the army. He's going to just immediately say yes. And if that is all, please be on your way. All right. I think I'm good. All right. Where am I at in chat now? 24C seems a little less debatable. Country Sunshine. I see. A YouTube tutorial on how to do boob jobs. Thanks, guys.
Let's go down into the basement.
Dun 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 dun. All right. Basement 1. The winding corridor leads downward and around the side of the structure. Where it opens back into the main building, you are able to see rows of hallways dotted with simple wooden doors. Some rooms lack a proper door and have been covered with clothes and tapestries. Others are entirely open, revealing cramped bunked budding where the lizard men of the lower orders call their own. The trail continues downward past the dormitory and even deeper. B2. Lizardmen and Yuan-ti purebloods push past you in this cramped hall. As you wrap around these corners, the stone of the building turns from brilliant blue of the exterior you saw previously into decayed and ancient gray slate. The sound of chisels and mining picks echo upward and through. Then, as you take the last turn around, you find yourself on a promenade connecting by a rotting wooden bridge into a new structure. Below are dark depths, and along the wall, the familiar light motes seem to be more dim than usual. The structure you are viewing is the excavated remains of another ziggurat. In the darkness, plinking sounds follows with falling debris. The lizardmen and Yuan-ti have carefully and painstakingly carved away all stone and earth that had buried this structure. A parade of serpents march past you, carrying baskets filled with chipped stone. The dark interior of this underground building does not seem to be inviting. The very entrance to this place has been carved to have the appearance of a serpent's mouth, fangs and all. To enter is to be swallowed by this stone snake, and only darkness awaits within its throat. The wooden bridge angles ever downward yet, putting you at least 3 floors below ground. Behind the fangs of the stone serpent mouth are two sets of two, a lizardman and a yuan-ti on each side, guarding the entrance.
Entry is for workers at this time. It is unsafe to enter.
B3. Through the serpent's maw cutting away at the dark, you are able to make out the corners of a large chamber. The smell of incense is overpowering. The room holds no life aside from the occasional scurrying through the passage to your left from deeper within, outward to deposit more stones. Silks and tapestries line the walls. Rugs cover the cold stone, which expels their reddish color onto the room. Along the far wall is a large stone statue jutting out from uncleared earth. Her lower half that of a snake's, her upper that of a human female, but with at least 6 arms. Each arm holds a blade outward in a fan, with the 6th holding a blade in an outstretched arm pointing to the ground just in front of the statue. There is an engraving, but it is caked in old clay and does not look to be fully excavated. Even now, from her 6th hand, which points downward, the surrounding ground has not yet been cleared entirely. B4. The hall opens into a central chamber, connected to 4 other hallways, as well as a 5th leading down. Each other hall terminates in an ornate stone door, carved with ancient symbols. One of these doors has been destroyed, some jagged portions of the stone still remaining in the hallway. Within, you can see 2 sarcophagi. Plaques above them read in an old tongue. I have not written what the plaques read yet. B5. No longer do scaled creatures push past you in these hallways. You find yourself entirely alone, the sound of chisels and picks growing more distant. This floor of the second ziggurat is pitch black, and aside from the sounds you make, it is totally silent. Once the area is illuminated, then one would see numerous stone sarcophagi, each topped with a slab of stone etched with ancient words. Beyond this, the wall cracks open into a cave. There is no debris on the floor or around this opening, nor along the floors of this room. In spite of the ruined state, it has been thoroughly and meticulously cleaned, with little to no dust to be found on the floor or pedestals. Red light creeps around the corner up ahead, showing skin-smooth walls. The stone of this area has no apparent seams, as if created from a whole block at once. Fine silk hangs low through the hallway of this chamber, blocking sight into the glowing red chamber deeper within. Glowing red room, I guess? Exotic scents drift on rolls of smoke, which billow across the ground. If Chesek is followed here, he will be heard telling Ratrazaza about the heroes. Low muttering can be heard from here, along with the occasional laughter of a female. If Chesek is in the upper temple, Ratrazaza will be alone but attended by undead servants. The clicking and clacking of bones can be heard from within. So that's what I have prepared for my lads today.